All right. Positive energy all the time. Here we go. Greetings, Rep Your City. Everybody on Kick. I'm representing Chicago, Illinois. Everybody on Twitch. Everybody on YouTube. And everybody on both of my Facebook accounts. I am representing the Windy City, aka Chicago. We got Norfolk in the building. And today I'm standing up for my peeps over at Starbucks. I got some great business friends at Starbucks that always look out for me. They always are very courteous, very nice. Young people, a lot of them college students working their way through college. And they deserve to make a little more money. So we're going to talk about that. Rep your city, rep your city. Represent your city and come on in. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and support the channel. CashApp, Venmo, PayPal is much appreciated. What did I get from Starbucks? I always get some coffee with coconut milk. Coconut milk and coffee. That's it. Coffee and coconut milk. I keep it vegan. I keep it vegan. Yeah. Starbucks has been a great friend of mine to help me hustle beyond what an average human can do. And so I can't say I've been using it 100% healthy, but I can say it's been a absolute must in order for me to keep up with the pace that I have to keep up with to make a living in this Babylon system. So I got to do what I got to do. If you want to know more about what's going on with health issues, subscribe to Vegan Intel. I have moved all of my vegan conversation and health conversations to my other business channel, Vegan Intel. And so if you are interested in health conversation, nutrition, things going on with medical conditions in the country and in the world, subscribe to Vegan Intel. I moved it from over here because I have people over here that's not really interested in that. And so I am targeting people that are very much health conscious and letting the other people watch, the basic news stories and things I do over here. So I'm targeting a different audience, plus a lot of people that are interested in health. That's all they're interested in. So I just created a channel specifically for those that are interested in eating better and health issues. So I have moved all that content to YouTube /@Vegan Intel. I will no longer be talking about health issues over here. So go subscribe to that. Very informative over there. Good to see you, Kathy. We got Shreveport in the building. We got Indianapolis in the building. As I said, I'm representing Chicago. Rep your city. Rep your city. We have Norfolk in the building. We have London in the building. Also, to my mods, a couple of things. Uh, if you want to be a mod, uh, because I'm going to have more people. I'm going to need a few more mods because my mods work jobs. They got different things they have to do. So to take the stress off of them, I'm going to need more mods. So if you're interested in being a mod, uh, DM me on Instagram and send me the link to your YouTube account so I can just go right to it and make you a mod. And so DM me if you want to be a mod over here. DM me on Instagram at Pharaoh said that. And I will hook you up to be a mod over here. Over here, okay? Also, to my mods, we got something new going on. I'm not blocking anyone else long term. I repeat, do not block anybody any longer than 24 hours. Block them until tomorrow. That's it. Everybody that I have blocked, I have unblocked everybody. See, all of the thousands of people that I have blocked are now unblocked. And now I will only just put you on timeout until tomorrow. I'll just block you until tomorrow to give you time to mature and stay on subject and not troll. If you troll every day, it won't take nothing but a second to block you every day. And you'll get tired before I get tired. So for my mods, only block people for 24 hours. You don't have to do 24 hours. You could do 10 minutes. You could do 15 minutes if they're not obnoxious. So, at first, mods, you could block them for, 15 minutes or stuff. If they're just totally obnoxious, tell them come back tomorrow and block them until tomorrow. I'm not blocking anybody long term. Yeah, we're coming to get our check. You are 100% correct. And yes, come back tomorrow. Y'all know the saying. And I only do that to protect the people that are trying to pay attention. And some people are very rude. They have no respect for the rest of the viewers. They come over and they act like the world revolves around them. Very disrespectful to the other viewers. Very disrespectful to the chat. And these type of people are not good for any type of intelligent, high-level conversation. So that's the only reason I get them out of here. They're very disruptive, many times childish. They might even be children playing on mommy and daddy's computer. And then we have so many people with mental illness, and there's various forms of mental illness. So just block them until tomorrow. You could give them 10 minutes. It's up to my mods. I'm not, going to be dealing with that too much. So that's how that's going to go, okay? So I'm standing up for my friends at Starbucks. They want to be treated better. And I got a beef with that. I got a problem with that. They want to be treated better, and I feel like the United States does too much bad business. I think the business people of today don't do good business. I think most businesses have a horrible business model, especially most multi-million-dollar corporations. I feel they have a horrible business model. And even hustlers in the community stuff, a lot of people have a horrible, horrible, horrible business model. People don't understand money. And they get greedy, and they want so much money that they suck the life out of their own economical circle, and they fail. Because they think success is how much money they suck from the community. But success is how long you stay in business, and money only comes from the bottom. Money never comes from the top. So when too much money gets at the top, any society will fall. If America does not put more money on the bottom, America's going to fall. It's going to be just like Rome. It's going to be just like Greece. It's going to be gone. It's going to be no more. Because money only comes from the bottom. The money has to be at the bottom. Has to be. Because the bottom has to get things. You're providing things. So if you got all the money, how are they going to support your business and buy things? So in order for your business to thrive, the public has to have money. The more money the public has, the better your business does. The more money you suck out of the business, the quicker your business dissolves. Because there's levels. And when you got a level, and here's the public, and here's you, and here's your creditors, if you have a practice of sucking all the money from your consumers, then the people you pay will suck all the money from you. And so if you have a business and your practice is to constantly raise your prices to drain your consumers, then the people that have the real estate that you're getting, they do you the same way. They overcharge you. Then the government do you the same way. They overtax you. Everybody sucks all the life out, and everything will collapse because now there's no circulation. Imagine your body and your blood went to one part of the body and just stayed there and didn't circulate. How healthy would you be? Well, money is the blood of the economy. And if it does not circulate, your nation will collapse. So when you get these greedy mogul, these Trump types and their cronies, they will destroy the country. They will go broke. This is why Trump has gone broke so many times. He will still, him and his family will still go broke. No matter how much money he steals, no matter how much shicey stuff he does, because the circulation will be cut off. And that's how you get Great Depressions. That's how economies collapse. And when economy collapses and you're a billionaire, your money's worthless. You just got a bunch of paper or a bunch of digits, because people are saying stupid stuff like money don't have no value, like digits have value. If money could lose value, imagine what digits could do. Imagine what a number that say you got 30,000 in your bank. Imagine how that could just, you really think that could hold value? Cash can hold value longer than digits. That's why look at the cryptocurrency market dropping, flopping. People losing everything. It's a failure. It always was going to be a failure. Because it's make believe. It's make believe. It's not nothing intangible. It's just digits. Digits don't have any value. Coins and cash and physical things can maintain more value than just numbers on a computer. So anybody believes in digital is a little slow. But we do live in a world where a slower world than we used to live in. The people today are definitely much slower. Even though you got more education, you're far more slower than your great grandparents and great grand. You're far slow. Slow. Your educational system, your digital learning. You can't write because all you do is type. You can't write. You have no writing skills. You have no skills. You can't add. You can't spell because your computer spells for you. Right now, people spell the worst than they ever spell because they don't have to spell. The computer spells for you. So you don't know how to spell anything. The computer and the digital system is making you an invalid. Basically. It's making you an invalid. Well, the penny costs 4 cents to make, and it's only worth 1 cent, of course. But the penny costs 4 cents because you overcharge in the factories. It's the same. It's what I'm saying. If you overcharge everybody, then your factory where you make your money is going to be too expensive too. So everything's too expensive. So it's too expensive to print money, which is duh, because this is like this is common sense, but common sense isn't common anymore. I think people are slower than they've ever been in the history of the world, basically. Primitive man was way more intelligent than man today. Man today is totally an idiot. Because if you go up in prices, then they got to go up. Then they got to go up and they got to go up. And they got to go up and they got to go up. And then they got to go up and they got to go up. Then you got to go up again and you got to go up. So every time you raise your prices, I have to raise my prices, and they have to raise their prices. They have to raise their prices, raise their prices, raise their prices, raise. Oh, I got to do it again. Raise their prices, raise their prices, raise them. They call it inflation. I call it stupidity. Every time you raise your prices, everybody's got to raise their prices, so you ain't making nothing. How are you making money when you raise your prices and all your stuff goes up? Make it make some sense. How are you making money when you got a business and you raise your prices and you want to buy a Mercedes Benz, but now it costs $10,000 more? So did you make more money from your business? No, because you're spending more now. You're not making anything. You're not making anything. Now that $75,000 home costs $2 million. So how are you making? I guess. I guess. Crazy. I mean, I knew that as a little boy. I knew that. If the bus fare goes up and the nurse got to pay more to get on the bus, the nurse needs more money. If the nurse needs more money, this person needs more money. If this person needs more money, that person needs, and then that person, then that person, then that person, then that person. Then the bus fare got to go up again because the bus driver needs more money because all his other expenses went up. So I got to pay him more, so the bus fare got to go up again. And now everybody needs more to ride the bus, so everybody else needs more. And then it gets right back. Now the bus driver needs more. So now you got to raise it again. And then everything else goes up again. And so now you got to raise it again. And then everything else goes up again. Next thing you know, it's homeless people everywhere. Robberies up. Burglaries up. Theft is up. Scams is up. So you throw a bunch of people in jail. Then you can't afford that. So you start letting people out of jail. So now they're letting people out of jail. Now the state is being sued by private agencies because they said, y'all not locking the people up for us, enough people up for us to make some money. The state saying we can't afford to lock people up for you to make a lot of money. So we don't know what you're going to do. That's why the greedy becomes the needy. That's never changed. So, of course, if you're going to sell me a cup of coffee for $9, of course they want more money because a cup of coffee is $10. How are you going to charge me $10 for a cup of coffee and don't want to give them more money? You're charging me $10 for a $2 cup of coffee. I mean, it's a $2 cup of coffee. I mean, that's what it is. It's worth $2. I know, but I mean, it's worth $2. It's a $2 cup of coffee for $10, for $9.25 or something like that. Make some sense. The bottom's going to fall out the system. It's obvious. I mean, people don't want to see it. Because you think that if you go buy an $800 Gucci sweater, you think you're doing something. I went out to the fashion mall. I went in the Versace store, and they had these jackets. I ain't going to call them cheap. I ain't going to hate on them, but they had these jackets with these sequences on it. And they was like $3,000, $2,500. Now, it looked like they look like $30 jackets, to be honest with you. And it was so cheap. The stuff was so cheap. And I'm looking at the price tag, and the lady was standing there. She was so thirsty. I think she would have did me favors to buy something. I mean, I never seen somebody so thirsty. She was standing there like, please buy something. I was the only person in there, of course. Who else is going to come in here and buy this junk? And boy, you should have seen how fast she followed me around through that store. Then they had some little bags in there that was cost a fortune. And those bags don't cost nothing until you put the Versace logo on it. We've already seen that with the tariffs. The Chinese already showed us that they make all that stuff and send it to Italy, and then they put the tag on it. That's when the price goes. The Chinese say you can get this from us right now for $75. You don't got to pay $800 for this bag, $3,000 for this bag. You can get it from us without the logos on it for 50 or $75 for a $10,000 bag, I guess. Crazy. Unbelievable. And so I just wanted to come and support the Starbucks workers and say, give them more money as much as you're charging. Give them more money. You're making a fortune. Well, kind of, because a lot of Starbucks are going out of business. Duh. How long are people going to give you that much money before they go buy a coffee machine? You know what I mean? I guess. How long are people going to give you $10 and $8 and $9 for a cup of coffee before they go buy a coffee machine? I mean, how long am I going to buy Starbucks before I buy a coffee machine and some coconut milk? I'm just wondering. Isn't the bottom going to fall? Ain't I going to eventually stop buying it? Just making myself a fraction of the cost? I don't know. But in the meantime, if you're overcharging for your coffee, why aren't you paying well? How do you overcharge on one end and underpay on the other end? Like pay them. Pay them. Pay them. Because the cost of living is up and they can't survive working in there for what you're paying them. If you want to charge us all this money for a one-bedroom apartment, you're going to have to pay. You can't charge $1,900 for a one-bedroom apartment and then don't want to pay people. You got to pay them. You got to deal with the cost of living. And we're dealing with businesses now that don't pay you according to the cost of living. And then the business say, well, I can't afford to pay them what they need for the cost of living. Okay, then drop the prices on all this rent and all that. You are 100% correct, Kathy. If you're not going to pay me enough to pay rent, then the rent's got to come down. Here in Chicago, downtown, we got all these apartments. Ain't nobody in them buildings. When I lived in Prairie Shores, beautiful building, gym and everything. I forgot what floor I lived on. But what was very unusual is when I would come out and go to the elevator, I never hardly seen nobody. And on that whole floor, I don't believe they was renting no more than 4 apartments. I believe most of those apartments was empty. It was hardly nobody on my floor. I am sure of that. Because I would only see the same on my side. I would only see that one person across over there and the one Asian dude next to me. I ain't see nobody ever come in and out of any of them other apartments. Then around the elevators there around the other side, never see nobody waiting to get on the elevator. I said, I don't think nobody's in this building. All across America, they got a bunch of empty buildings that they making you think that your rent is worth it, but those buildings are empty. All of these downtown, these high rises are empty. There is nobody in those high rises. There is nobody in those condominiums. Those condominiums is probably at 30% capacity, at the most 70% if it's doing well. 30% of those condominium buildings are empty. 30 to 60% of those buildings are empty. You never see as much people in these buildings as they have units. That many units, you would see more people when you go to the elevator, when you go in and out. No, there's nobody in there. It's so bad downtown Chicago that the water tower was so empty that they had to move all the businesses down to the bottom 3 floors. There's nobody in the top of the water tower on Michigan Avenue. Look, there's nobody in the water tower. There's nobody in there. There is no one in the water tower. It is empty. They had to move everybody downstairs. It's so empty that they had a doggone like swap meet. I swear to God, on the lower floor. They let people like set up booths in the hallway. I kid you not. Yeah, the Water Tower Shopping Center in Chicago is empty. They had to move everybody to the bottom 3 floors. This is prestigious. This is on Michigan Avenue. It's as prestigious as it gets. There's nobody in there. Nobody. There's nobody in there. They had to move all the businesses down to the bottom floors. I kid you not. And they had to rent it to people to set up tables and sell little stuff. Like, and they rather do that. Then they should have just kept the prices down, but they raised the prices so much that they priced themselves out. Because now it costs a lot to be there. They basically just dug themselves a hole, basically. Basically. They dug a big old hole. It's empty. There's nobody in there. Like this right here, You see how those floors don't nobody there? Nobody's on none of those floors. They made all the businesses that's left go to the bottom three floors. And all that top part is empty. To the point they got like a farmer's market. Oh man, it's so cheesy. They have like a farmer's market and, you know, people with tables in the hallway downstairs. It's just a big empty building. No one's in these topper floors. They had to tell a few businesses that was left to all move on the first, second, and third floor to make it look like it's something going on. Because it's like two businesses on this floor, one business on that floor, two businesses on that floor. Says, look, all y'all got to come down to the bottom. And they can't find nobody to rent it because it's too expensive. Ain't nobody renting that. Who want to be in there? Yeah, yep, yep. The greedy become the needy. You're 100% correct. On top of that, Americans is costing them so much. They ain't coming to Chicago. Nobody's traveling like that. When you see these lames showing you pictures of them traveling, them is lames. Ain't nobody throwing no money away, jumping on no planes and boats no more but lames. Yeah, man, if you dating a woman now and she want to do all that, you better dump her. She's got no economical compass. You're gonna be broke messing with Shorty. Cause she can't read the writing on the wall. It get to a point you're supposed to read the writing on the wall and say, okay, it's over with. They still trying to go to Dubai. Go to Dubai, come back, work 3 months, get laid off. Go to Dubai, work 3 months, come back, get laid off. It's making dating like, you know, if Shorty ain't really, if it's a female and she ain't really trying to like cut back and stack no money right now, that's a straight turn off. She got to go because that show me she can't see. Because you're supposed to see when it's time to spend and when it's time to save. Like you got to be able to see the difference. You can't be spending when it's time to save. You have to open your eyes and look at your surrounding. And when you see Walgreens closing everywhere and CVS is closing everywhere and Starbucks closing everywhere and less traffic, then you're supposed to read the signs, basically. You're supposed to be able to say, okay, it looks like, I give you an example. If I'm on the north side of Chicago and I'm all the way down on the end down there on where Lakeshore Drive runs out. And if I get on Lakeshore Drive around rush hour, when I get to North Avenue, let's say it's like 4:30 in the evening. If I get to North Avenue, it's rush hour. It's going to take me probably about 20 minutes to get to Roosevelt. That's from the north side of downtown to the south side of downtown. If it's around 4:30 and I get to North Avenue and I get to Roosevelt in like 7 minutes, That means ain't nobody out there, which means ain't no money circulating. Because there's no money circulating, because since the pandemic and they sent people home to work from home, people never went back to work. And when people never went back to work, then all the people that sold clothes, lunch, they all went out of business because they made business because their businesses were where you worked at. And when you got your check on Friday or Thursday, then right when you cash your check at the bank downtown, you would spend money. You would go to lunch. But if you're working from home, you ain't buying lunch. If you're working from home, you're not buying clothes. So if I'm dating a woman, she working from home. If I go by her house or her apartment, when she come let me on, she ain't got on nothing but panties and a top because this is all she got on because she's on the computer. She don't got no bottoms on or nothing. She might got pajamas on the bottom and house shoes. She don't got to put on a skirt and all that. All you got to be dressed is from here up, you know. And so right now with these queens, if you go by, it's easy access. She don't got no clothes on the bottom. It's popping. As soon as you take a lunch break, you know, you can hit it and split it. Because they ain't got no clothes on. Nobody's got no clothes on. Men don't got no clothes on. They got their pajama pants on and a shirt and a tie. That's it. Nobody's buying no clothes. Just top halves. You know, you might buy new shirts and stuff to the top, but nobody cares about the bottom no more. You're working from home. You're not buying whole outfits. You don't need no suit no more. You just need a shirt. You don't need no dress pants. You can have on some old jeans. Nobody can see the bottom. So they're losing a fortune. They're not selling no lunch or nothing. So you go downtown, it's a ghost town because everybody's working from home and all the businesses, all the people selling peanuts, popcorn, lunch, they all went out of business. All the people selling clothes, they all went out of business because everybody's getting their money direct deposit. Nobody's getting no checks no more and cash them at the bank and going shopping. Nobody's buying clothes anymore but idiots. You understand? Nobody's. The economy's crashing. And so I just wanted to show some support for the people, you know. You pay them people because they got to come to work every day. They don't get to work from home. They some of the few Americans that have to come to work. Nobody else has to come to work anymore. Everybody's working from home. The companies, yeah, he didn't have no pants on. The companies are not renting office space no more. They're saving money. So they don't rent no office space. They're going to mail me my company computer and they're going to have me go live. They're going to have me go on the internet and then they're going to have me log into their system through their security. They got tight security to log in. Then my computer is going to be logged in into my company system. So they don't have to pay no. At first, after the pandemic, they asked some of my friends to come back to work. But when they realized that they can make more money if they let them stay home and don't have to rent all this office space. They was like, why would we rent all this office space when we can have you working from at home, burning your electricity instead of us paying electricity? And the workers is too slow to tell a company, okay, I work from home, but you got to kick in extra money on my electric bill. They ain't doing that. So you running up your electricity and they don't got to pay no electricity, but you working for them. When you worked at the office, they had to pay electricity. They had to pay the lights and the electricity. So now they can cheat you and have you burning your electricity and just mail you the computers and stuff. It's crazy. They won't even send you a company phone sometimes. You got to use your phone. They like saving a whole lot of money. No office space, no electric bill. And the people don't care because they're saving money because it's cheaper to pay more electric than it is to drive the car to work every day burning gas. So they saving money. They rather pay a little more on electric than have to buy all these clothes, drive to work, buy lunch. They ain't got to do all that. They ain't got to do all that. They rather pay the electric and stay home. They ain't got to pay no parking. They ain't got to pay no transportation and all of that. Exactly. Exactly, Beast Mode. Exactly. It's a great trade-off. That's why they say, okay, cool. Yeah, it's a great trade-off. And it's big money because I could get jobs online right now. Boy, you can work online now. You can make some money now at home. They got all kind of. You can right now. I can work for the airlines right now, booking flights tonight. Tonight, I can work for United Airlines, TWA, whoever. I could be booking flights all night, making bank. You know, you call a bank and some lady's at home. Hello, this is Bank of America. She all the way in the Philippines. Who knows where she at? One time I called the lady, I heard the kids in the background. I said, dang. One time I called, I heard the dog bark, and I said, this is crazy. And so you can work and make money from home. You can make good money right now if you ain't lazy. If you ain't lazy right now, you could get on this computer and make some money. You could work in the day, take a break, and work at night. You can have two jobs and be at home. You can have the TV on with the earplug on. Yeah, welcome to Bank of America and be listening to your TV show. You could be chilling. You can work two jobs easier than you used to work one job. Because that 2.5 hours you've been spending in traffic, that's 2.5 hours on your second job. They'll hire you. They'll hire anybody. You just got to beast mode. You got to find out where they're hiring at. Certain jobs Americans won't do because they underpay them. Yeah, you can work two accounts. You get paid, though. You could get paid, though. You can get paid on the internet right now. All kind of ways. You can have an Instagram account just selling stuff and make $10,000, $20,000 a month. Just links to items to buy items and you getting a cut off the item. Just linking people to Amazon. Getting paid. They want to get AI, but AI is not going to work well, so they still going to have to hire you because AI is going to flop. That's not going to work. They're going to try it. It's not going to work. Because they got AI now and they still got to transfer you to a person because AI gets stuck. And then you'll be like, okay, you push a button. You want to talk to a real agent? Yes. You still, I get AI all the time, but they still got to put me with a real agent because AI is not that good. They want to do AI, but they like 10 years away from AI being worth anything. So that's just a dream that if they really believe they're going to be able to depend on AI, they crazy. That's not going to work. AI is not going to work. That's going to flop. They got big dreams, but they've been having trouble with a lot of these big dreams actually working. Robotics is not going to work in factories. That's going to flop. Amazon is going to lose billions messing with robots and auto mechanics. They're going to lose so much money because you can't beat God. You can't make nothing better than people. People is a better invention than a robot. They just got to find out. They'll find out that you'll never get a robot that can replace a human being. It's not going to happen. Okay. They're just dreaming. Just like they're going to go live on the moon and Mars. I'm not going to hold my breath. You're never going to make it to Mars. Okay. Not in this lifetime. Maybe in 500 years, but spending a lot of time trying to go to Mars, you won't be here in 500 years. They slow. AI is no good. AI can't replace nobody. You ever went to AI to get information? It'll tell you anything. It's like that information is not always valid because somebody's got to update AI, and if they don't update it, it's not. It's like GPS. You go in your car and you go and you use Google Maps and you get out in the middle, far from the city, and the damn thing just went off. One time when I was driving Uber, I dropped a guy off. It's like 12:30 at night, and the whole thing went off. I didn't know how to get back to the freeway. I had to drive around. Finally, it kicked back on. One time I was taking my ex to a job at an insurance company out of Chicago. We got in the middle of them cornfields and stuff. That thing went off. That stuff ain't gonna work. You can't make nothing as good as human beings. If you could make something as good as human beings, all us men and women would be married to robots. You get you some robot coochie and some, you know, you get some robot, eggplant and some robot coochie. If the robots was that good, I'd have been married one or two of them. I would never want to marry no robot. Robots ain't no good. Come on. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I want no robot wife. You gotta be kidding me. That's gonna fail. And so pay these people is the bottom line is pay these employees because you're charging the arm and the leg. The cost of living is up, and you can't expect them to come and work in Starbucks and not make enough money to survive. They want to overcharge you on one end, but underpay you on the other end. I don't know what America think they're doing. How you gonna overcharge me on one end, overcharge me for a car, overcharge me for my mortgage, overcharge me for my property taxes, overcharge me for gas, food, then underpay me? How is that gonna work? That ain't even good slavery. Anytime you got slavery and the slaves overthrow the plantation, that's not good slavery. You're not gonna be able to make slaves out of these people. They're gonna get sick of you, and they're gonna tear you. They're gonna tear your place up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Good capitalism pay good. You understand? The best capitalism was in the 70s. Where you went and got a job, they paid you real good, the cost of living was down, and it was popping. You go to work, you get a nice check, car don't cost much, you're living the life. That's real capitalism. This is like foolism. This is not even good capitalism. This is dumb, okay? This is not capitalism. This is a failure. Successful capitalism sends the money to the bottom. When you got too much money at the top, that's not capitalism. Capitalism, the bottom makes money. That's capitalism. When the top makes money, that's called a disasterism. You know, that's a disaster. You're going to lose everything you got. They're going to burn all your cities down. They're going to protest. They're going to tear all your stuff up. They're going to tear your stuff up. Okay? The people united would never be defeated. They told them, they gave them the whole play when they built the country. It's of the people, for the people, and by the people. And they ain't even listening to their own founding fathers. Even their own founding fathers say, you know, slavery not going to work. We're going to have to get rid of this slavery. This not going to work. We need to pay these people so they can put money back into the system. This is why they ended slavery, because it was not good capitalism. And when you look at when blacks had full equality in 1970, because you didn't have equality in 1970. If you look at from 1970 to 1990, that was the strongest economy in American history. America's had no economy as strong as from the 70 to 90. That's a fact. That America was popping in the 70s. They were selling so many cars, so many Cadillacs and Oldsmobiles, so many homes, so much clothes. Everything was rolling on all cylinders. The steel mills rolling. Ford, Chevy, everything was rolling. They went and messed it up. They messed it up. They had a good thing going. A real good thing going, baby. Just you and me. They had a good thing going. They messed it up. I was here. The economy was popping. You could I got out of high school and worked for a book factory. Boom, had a car, had an apartment. My rent was $50 a month, 2-bedroom. It was popping. My parents had a house. They both made $1,500 a month. They made $3,000 a month, and their mortgage was $250. And a brand new Cadillac was like $7,000. They made enough money to pay for a Cadillac in 3 months if they wanted to. Cash. Imagine you and your wife making $750 every week, and your mortgage is $250. So yeah, we was going on vacation. Yeah, I was wearing tailor-made clothes. Yeah, we had brand new Cadillacs. Yeah. Yeah, everybody was going on vacation. Yeah, the refrigerator was full of food. Yeah, everybody lived comfortable. They messed it up. Messed it all up. Went up on this, then go up on that, then go up on that, go up, go. And now I done ran away. It was popping, Amra. It was popping. I got out of high school. I worked for a book factory. Boom, me and my girlfriend straight out of high school got a 2-bedroom apartment, nice 2-bedroom. Our rent was $250. That's it. Straight out of high school. She worked for Merrill Lynch and I worked for a stock exchange out of high school. You don't need no college education or nothing. Now they talking about bringing that back. Now they saying, okay, we don't want young people to go to college. We're going to train you. Duh. You should have stuck with that in the first place. What you going to college for? They still got to teach you how to do the damn job. College is not going to teach you how to do the job because every company do things different. So why not just train me when I get there? Why you want me to read all these books for 4 years just to learn how to do something that I can learn how to do in 6 days at work? 6 days of work, I know how to do the job. Put this here, write that there, fill this out there. I don't got to go to college for that. And I work for a stock exchange and I work for the U.S. Treasury Department, and somebody trained you, and within a week to 10 days, you were trained. You do not need to go to college. You need to go to trade school if you're going to be a carpenter or plumber or something like that. But for the average job, you don't need to go to college to work none of these jobs. Because the last person at the position could train you before they go to the next position. Put this here, put that there. This is called this. This is called that. This is how we do it. None of it is hard. There's not a job out here that's hard. If it's medical, you might got to know the medical terms and stuff like that. But you can learn that too. You don't need all that. You only need to know nursing if you're going to actually be a nurse. But if you're going to work in the medical field in the office, you don't need to know no nursing to work for an insurance company, medical insurance company. You don't got to go to college to do that. Somebody could train you that, show you that. You learn the terms. You can learn the terms in a week or two. Keep it a billion. Now, actual nursing and giving shots and stuff, yeah, you got to go to medical school. Yeah, flying a plane, yeah, you got to go take aviation to actually fly the plane. Yeah, you got to take certain type of mechanics. Yeah, you got to go to driving school to learn how to drive a car. But paper pushing and punching stuff on the computer, well, you don't got to go to school to be punching on no damn computer. The computer do everything anyway. Crazy. But yet the people that's really got to stand up and work, the people at Starbucks and stuff, you don't want to pay them. Them people got to stand on their feet all day and work. They really working. I'm in the area that when they get about 10 in the morning, they got 15, 20 people standing outside that Starbucks. They humping. Them people working. They need to pay them people. You should see all the people be standing out there trying to get their coffee. Pay them. Why you don't want to pay them? But you want to charge me $15 for a cup of coffee. I'm confused. Why you want to charge me, but you don't want to pay the people that make my coffee for me? That ain't cool. Pay them people. A lot of times I just give them money. I just give them $5. They be like, you can put it in the tip thing. I'm like, no, I'm giving this to you. You the one that brought me the coffee. I'm not tipping everybody else in here. I'm gonna give it to the one that's hustling, going to the machine, making it. Here's an extra $5. Here's an extra $10. Here's $20. I'll just give it to them. Because when you do good things come back to you. This is the karma in the world. So when you be nice to people and you do things for people, good things happen to you. You give somebody $20 and you end up getting $500 from somewhere you didn't even expect. Just like that. That's how it works. You do bad things come. You do good things come. I mean, pay the people. You know what I'm saying? When I used to vid, I would take my cousin with me. He was a little slow, but he's not really my cousin, but our parents been knowing each other, so he like my cousin. But he a little slow. But that's my man though. So even though I was with a lot of ballers, and I always kept my cousin with me. Some of my friends like, why you got dude with you? I'm like, why you talking to me? Shut up talking to me. So when I used to go vend, let's say I go to St. Louis and I sell $4,000 worth of merchandise. If I sell $4,000 worth of merchandise, I probably made $2,500 or $2,000. But I would give him 10% of the sales. So if I sold $3,000 worth of stuff, I would give him $300, even though technically I'm only supposed to give him $150 because my profits is only going to be like $1,500. But I wanted him to be prosperous too. So I would give him 10% of whatever I sold, not what I made. So if we went somewhere and I sold $5,000 worth of stuff, I would give my cousin $500. When really, I'm only really supposed to give him $250. But my thing is, I don't want to come back home with all this money and have him come back home with a little bit. I want him to come up too. And that extra $250 ain't gonna hurt me, or that extra $150 not really gonna hurt me. I'm still coming back doing well. I made money. Share the money. Share the profits with him. Pay him. So I would give him whatever I made, I would give him 10% of that. Whatever I sold, not what I made. Whatever I sold, I was supposed to give him 10% of what I made. No, I gave him 10% of what I sold. Because I felt like he riding with me. We might be gone 3 or 4 days. We going out of town. We standing on our feet all day. And why shouldn't he come back and feel like he made some good money? Why would I just treat him just like an employee in this, you know what I'm saying? And he helping me. I can't throw him no extra dollars. So I didn't, if I sold whatever I sold, I gave him 10%, which I wasn't supposed to do. I was supposed to give him 10% of my profits. Because if I sell a t-shirt for 30, I might have paid 15 for it. So I really only made 15. But I would count it as 30. I would just go ahead and pay him 10%. So if I sell a shirt for $30, I really only made 15. He only supposed to get $1.50. I give him $3. It ain't gonna really hurt me. I'm still making some money. I'm just not making as much, but I'm still making money. So why not? You know what I'm saying? Do good business. Even when I used to sell herb, like sometimes herb is light and sometimes it's heavy. And when I would weigh it and it was heavy, it would look like less. And if it's 3.5, I know my customers don't understand weight. They just go by how much they get. So I would always make sure they package looked like something I would buy. Even if I gave them some more, if it didn't look right to me, I wouldn't sell it to them. I would make it look like the way I would want it to look. Even if it meant I was giving them more than I was supposed to. I'm still making money, but not as much. So, because they don't understand, well, this is heavier. See, they don't understand it's heavier and I'm selling it by weight. They don't understand that. But still, I didn't feel it was right if it didn't look right. Because I look at it and I'll be like, this don't look like I'm charging them $50. This don't look like $50 worth. It is $50 worth, but it don't look like it. So I would make it look like it. And next time I get something fluffy that look like it. Because sometimes $50 look like $70 worth if it's fluffy enough and it's light. So I always gave them what I would want. It had to look right to me. If it don't look right to me, I'm not giving it to nobody. Regardless if that's what they supposed to get, I don't like the way it looked. So I put more in there. I always did good business. That's why I never been to prison. That's why I never had no bad things. And that's why all my customers was like family members. Because I looked out for them. It really wasn't illegal activities. It was a customer service. I was doing them a favor. I was giving them something they wanted. Facts. I was a public servant. The later what the police don't know what they talking about. Them people want that. You see what Trump did, y'all done put Trump in there and he done made THC illegal. Man, you gotta watch how you vote. Now you're gonna be riding around with a 3.5, you're gonna go to jail. Because you put a lame in there. Should have known that man was a hater. That man messing up the whole economy. You know how many smokers is mad they voted for this dude? Voting based on racism instead of voting based on what's right and wrong. Everybody knew dude was a racist and was a hater and wasn't no good. You trying to play stupid. Y'all knew Trump wasn't no good. That's why I don't even talk about that, because I don't be want to talk to no brothers and sisters about that, because I know you're lying. Anytime you voted for somebody like that and you black, you a disgrace. You a disgrace. You can't see where you from. Because anybody open up their eyes could see this dude is a KKK Nazi type. What is you, blind? And that's why I don't even want to discuss it with you. That's why I ain't been discussing that. Because I wouldn't even discuss that with you. I just look at you. You're a black person, you voted for him. Who was you, Stevie Wonder? You somewhere signed, sealed, delivered on yours. Who is you, Ray Charles? You can't see, you couldn't see, dude? Really? Because where I come from in the street, you judge a person by the company they keep. You ain't see the company this dude keep? Like you blind? You could have looked at him and told. Crazy. Now THC is illegal. They finna kick all them smoke shops door in. No, I can't say that a person, if you don't vote, that ain't as bad as not seeing. Because I'm not even really talking about sin. I'm talking about character judgment. That you got to be able to see what you're working with. When you dealing with people, and I'm dealing with a politician, and I see a bunch of racists like him, what that tell you? You say, hey man, teach your people. You could teach them. But here go the thing: teach your people how to speak up and defend themselves in court. No. If you don't get a lawyer, get a good lawyer. Get a good lawyer. If you got to go to court, you got to have a good attorney. Somebody that know the law. I ain't never spoke up for myself in court. I had an attorney. You got to have an attorney. If you ain't got no attorney, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Stay your ass out of court if you ain't got no attorney. You ain't got no attorney. Put your seatbelt on. Drive the speed limit. Don't drink and drive. Don't break the law. If you can't afford to break the law, you got to be able to afford to break the law. Costs money. Ain't no speaking up in court. You got to have an attorney. What's your name? Give it time. I can't tell you if you regret. Give it time. It's only been a year. You come back and tell me. Give it another couple of years. You come back and tell me if you regret it. I can't tell you if you regret it. You come back and tell me. You come back and tell me. That's all I can tell you. You come back and tell me what your rent like, what's the cost of living in a year. Come back next year this time and tell me if they're robbing you or not. You gotta make that decision. You tell me. I ain't gotta tell you. You'll figure it out. I know chocolate was $3. It's $5. I know a Hershey chocolate like this was $3. It's $5 and something. But I know that. I know everything you buying costs more. I know that much. I know the grocery store robbing you 5 star, robbing you blind. I know that much. That's all I can tell you. So you got to look at your bills and you tell me. Go get that 50-year mortgage and pay $1.5 million for $100,000 home. You go get that 50-year mortgage and you come back and tell me. Go get that 50-year mortgage on that home. And you come back and tell me. You get that 50-year, go get that 50-year mortgage. And you tell me. Yeah. Because it's common sense to me. Anybody that stopped food stamps, but from the people, when the food stamps don't even go to the people. Think about a politician that stops food stamps that go to the people, but the food stamps don't go to the people. It go through the people, but the food stamps go to the store. That's the store's money. So look at all these stores didn't make none of that money. If that's good politics, hey, if that's good business, hey, I don't know what to tell you. Because they thinking they hurt the people, but the people don't have food stamps. The people trade that in for the food. And the food is less than the food stamps. So if you spend $500 on food stamps, you only got $150 worth of food. So who got the $500? The stores. So if nobody got food stamps, that means the stores didn't get none of their money. If that's good business, if that's good for America, I don't know what to tell you. You got lames thought that the people was getting hurt, not realizing that's hurting the stores. That's the stores going to end up with that money. So guess how much money the stores lost so far this month? The stores lost all that money because people is haters. And when you're a hater, you think the food stamp recipients got the money. You ain't even smart enough to know that the stores get the money. You giving them the food stamps to give to the store. You a hater. You so racist. You think you hurting the people because you giving them $1,500 worth of food stamps that's only going to get $700 worth of food. They only losing $700 worth of food. The store's the one losing the $1,500 in the profit. Who get the profit from the food stamp? The store. Whatever you buy with food stamps, you getting less than you paying. So who's getting the total amount of money from the food stamp? The stores. If you get $3,000 worth of food stamps, you are not going to get $3,000 worth of food. You're going to get like $1,000 or $700 worth of food for $3,000. Who gets the whole $3,000? The store. So the stores lost all that money because you're dealing with a dumb president that didn't have to go to school because his daddy was rich. And rich kids be dumb. They pay for them to get degrees. They can't find their way out of a paper bag. Trump is dumb, can barely read. Every business has failed. He had 9 or 10 businesses that flopped. Casinos, airlines, everything flopped. He just cheated the stores out of billions, probably. At least multi-millions the stores just lost. And racist conservatives think the people lost. Imagine you're a racist and you actually believe that black people lost when white people get the most food stamps, but the food stamps go to the store. It don't even go to the white people. The white people give it to the stores. The food stamps end up at the stores, which is more money than the actual food that the customer gets. So the stores lost all that money. So now when you get to February, you're going to wonder why the economy shot, because the stores now then took a big hit right at Thanksgiving. And you're going to see that by February. All that money the stores lost now, if you know anything about business, you will see that in February. If you know anything about business, you will see the results of that mistake in February. February is going to be a disaster. Somebody then told them, you know, this is a disaster. Come on, I'm going to give y'all $2,000. I bet you is going to give us $2,000, dummy. You know what I'm saying? Why you think he going to give y'all $2,000? Because he know, oh, I done made a boo-boo. How can I fix it? He going to give you $2,000 so you can go back and, there's a, boy, oh boy. What a mess. Anyway, pay the people at Starbucks. Pay them, pay them, pay them. Kick the money back down. You companies, when all that money come up to the top, kick the money back down. The economy is just like your body, and the money's like blood, and you need good circulation. Okay? If all your blood go to your feet, that's how you end up a diabetic or something, or got to get an amputation. The blood's got to circulate, and the money is the blood of the economy. So the blood's got to circulate. The money's got to circulate. Kick the money back down. Kick the money back down. It's going to come back. I mean, this is just good business. Kick the money back down. You always kick the money back down. Always. Because, I mean, what's a king with no kingdom? You destroy your kingdom, you take all the money at the top, and you think you're a king, but your kingdom is destroyed. So what's a king with no kingdom? That's Trump. He's a king with no kingdom. Destroy the kingdom, and he will be a king. A great king walks through his kingdom outside his palace and sees everybody doing great. A real king. A real king wants to see prosperity in the kingdom. A good king don't want all the money at the top and poverty in the kingdom. Just like a boss, when you doing business, a boss want everybody to get money. We all got to be getting money. We all got to be getting money. When you hustling with a real boss, he makes sure everybody get money. He makes sure everybody got nice cars. He makes sure everybody's doing well. Because if he the only one doing well, he gets robbed. Or somebody snitch on him. His whole operation falls. The only way your operation can run is you got to take care of the kingdom. If you're a great king, this is anywhere you go. When I was in the county jail and I ran the deck, everybody was taken care of. I don't smoke, but everybody could. I got enough deals with the Latin kings that everybody was smoking. I made sure the guys were smoking. They was addicted to smoking, and I made sure everybody had roll-ups. I made sure everybody ate. I made sure everybody had snacks. I had bags and bags and bags of stuff under my bed, and I gave that to the kingdom. I didn't just sit there and eat all the chips. I made sure everybody eat. So it was a beautiful situation. There wasn't no fights, there wasn't no hostility. People just fought their cases and went home on bonds or whatever. I know I eliminated as much tension as possible because I was getting money. So I took my money and I did stuff like buy sugar so they could make hooch so everybody could drink. Keep the deck happy. Keep everybody doing well. Keep the kingdom happy. If you don't keep the kingdom happy, then people start getting shanked, beat up, all this. I had none of that. I had no gang wars or nothing. No GD, no 5 against the 6 or none of that. I ran that once I ran the deck. I made it as peaceful as it could be. You already locked up. Let's make this jovial. Let's make this. We don't need no, you know what I'm saying? No big eyes, little U's. Make sure everybody eat. They come to me, Pharaoh, let me get some of them chips. I'm like, here, man, I can't eat all this. Hey, let me get some. I'm just throwing them out. I don't care. That's why I bought all this. I didn't buy this to eat. I bought this for the deck. I'm not eating all this. I need everybody to be cool. The Republicans doing it better. They trying to suck all the money to the top. People gonna burn their cities down. That's all gonna happen. Riots. That's it. The Republicans under Trump, they gonna get the country tore up. People gonna burn this shit down. They gonna riot. They gonna bust windows. They gonna loot. They gonna smash and grab. They gonna tear this country up. He a fool. Some rich dude with a silver spoon can't run nothing. The worst thing you could do is take some punk that ain't really real, ain't never had to do nothing, and mommy and daddy powdered his booty. You can't make that no leader. Nobody had his booty powdered his whole life. No punk like Trump can't run nothing. That's a mommy daddy boy. He not like that. All them tough faces and stuff. Y'all know he's a punk. Trying to look. Dude, you a punk. Get your lame ass out of here. He's an actor, though. I'll give him that. He's a great actor, but he's not that. Like, he's not that. Biden lost his mind, but Biden was really outside when he grew up. Biden was really that. Biden was really could fight when he was coming up. Biden was really out on the block. Trump is his mama's boy, daddy boy. His daddy powered his booty. He's not like that. He's not no good leader. And he's selfish. You can't put no selfish person in there like that. You got to have somebody that's concerned with the country. He's a horrible president. Probably the worst in history when it's all said and done. Yeah, he's probably the worst in history. He's probably going to be the worst president in history. He'll be lucky if they don't take him out of there in cuffs if he live another 5 to 6 months, because some doctors say he got about 5 months. He's extremely sick too. So we're going to see how this play out. But in the meantime, take care of the hard workers at Starbucks. Look out for them. We got to look out for the people that serve us in these communities at the fast food restaurants, the people that be at Starbucks, the people that really serve us. We should make sure that they can live decent. So, yeah, they need to give them some more money. I support them 100%. You know what I'm saying? And from December 20th to December 24th, yeah, I ain't going to buy no coffee from them or nothing. I'm going to support the movement. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to support the movement, Kick the money back down to the hard-working people. Always take care of the workers. Take care of the workers. Kick the money back down. You know what I'm saying? And y'all be positive energy all the time. And always do good business. Always do good business.